on different channels. So here is what I have done. I'm going live on my Instagram, Facebook, and we are on YouTube. So if you're watching me on Instagram and Facebook, what is this about? We have had a host of questions and it all borders around clarity, around how to advance your careers, especially regarding global opportunities. And those questions have just been coming in a lot. They've been coming in a lot. And we said, you know what, at my meeting yesterday with my staff, we said, let's ask the people in our free community on WhatsApp, which is the Get community, what time they want me to come and have this clarity. And let me see if I can figure out how to use 1 hour of my weekend to do this. So
Hello, ma.
welcome. Okay, great. I can see that you've started. Thank you very much, Aisha, for that. So now, and wherever it is you are joining me, just in case you are joining me on Instagram or Facebook, what are we talking about? We are talking about getting clarity about what you need for the next level. And I know that that is just a lot of adjectives and English. It simply means that there are different things you would typically need to get to your desired goal. And if you are probably on this channel or you are watching me right now on Zoom, most likely there are three major things in the equation of what you need. It is either you need global opportunities, or you need to be able to get a remote opportunity. It could be a job or something you can do flexibly and remotely. And you want to ensure, as the third thing will be that you need the skill sets to be able to deliver on that opportunity that you are seeking. So if you're in this room, you are falling under three of these things. It is either you need all three, which is you need a global opportunity, you need the skills to be able to deliver on that global opportunity, or you need what's it called? Um, the pathway, let me put it that way, on which you just lack clarity around this whole mix, right? You need a global opportunity, you need a remote opportunity, or you need a skill set to be able to deliver on your global opportunity or the remote opportunity. So if that is any of your challenge, you are in the right place and you are trying to figure out what exactly do I need in this mix, in what order do I need it to get to the next level. Don't worry, I am going to help you with that tonight. Now, here is how we do this. Before we continue, if you are joining me on Zoom, your name, the city and country you are joining me from. I like to know the people who are in the room so that it helps me to actually plan and answer questions better. Your name and the city, city, and country you're joining me from. So I'm going to go first. My name is Dr. Aderinsola Adekpoju. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm a global opportunities expert. Most people, my students call me Clarity King, and a host of other names. So I'm going to read a couple of this thing for the next 2 minutes. Once it's 7:15 West African time, I'm going to start this thing. So I've seen Tate from Zimbabwe, Melissa from DRC Kinshasa, Cynthia from Lagos, Tomisin from Ibadan, Jinika from Enugu, Nigeria, Khaira Ibrahim joining from Lagos, Nigeria, Sakirat Ademumi joining from Ibadan, Nigeria, Mildred Bembo Aris from Liberia, Mary from Nairobi, Kenya. We have Jeremiah Oladosu, Taraba State. So in case you are watching me on Facebook or on Instagram, there are some people that are on Zoom. So if you, for instance, want to join on Zoom because you want to be able to participate live in this clarity session, all you simply need to do is click on the link in my bio or bio, whatever. You will see what's it called? You will see a WhatsApp, this thing, 0805 345 3099, 005 345 3099, or the link will be somewhere at the top of this thing, or you just send a message and say, give me the Zoom link to the clarity session. I want to join on Zoom, and someone will be there to attend to you. So do not worry. You can get into the Zoom if, for instance, you want to be able to unmute yourself and speak to me or something. So Sadiq from Lagos, Nigeria. So if you are wondering, and if you're also watching on YouTube, please, you can join on Zoom. I know we are about 94 people on Zoom right now. So what are we doing today? This is me giving you my paid time for free to ask all the questions that you need around global opportunities, skills acquisition, remote jobs, and all those other things. Now, what are the kind of questions you can ask me? Because even if I say I give you a chance to ask me all this thing, please, there are so many people that have questions for me here. So I'm begging you to let us utilize our time well, right? Why am I saying so? If you're asking me questions that you can ask Google, it's not a clarity question. I know it's an informational question. Do you understand me? Like you're asking me, which country is offering remote job? I'll just tell you all countries of the world. Do you understand that kind of question? Because that one is not, I'm not clear about whether I should go to Canada. Do you understand? Yeah, just asking me an informational question. So if I skip such question, it is not because I want to ignore you, it's just because we are going to have a host of questions. People need to be able to ask their questions that really border around clarity and how they get to the next stage of their life. So Google questions that you, as in, and you, in fact, if you ask me, ask my student, I always say, I will refer you to Google nicely and say, oh, maybe you should just type it on Google, on your WhatsApp Meta AI, and you get the answers to this. But if you are looking for legit clarity around the things that you are not really care about, now it could be clarity around your own part. It could be clarity around our programs, because clarity can fall into categories. The questions we got a few days ago were questions around clarity around our programs. Should I take Global Opportunities Program first? Should I take WFS first? Should I take Clinical Skills first? So it could be also clarity questions around our program. Oh, I have seen all your programs. I'm not just sure which is right for me. Because some people just wondering want to ask me, say, I'm not sure. I spoke with Moina, this one, Moina said this, but I'm not really certain. Can you hear my peculiar story so that you can recommend? That could be your clarity question. So it could be around program, it could be around what you need to do. Now that we have that sorted, I know how to ask me questions. There are two ways we're going to ask questions on Zoom. And if you have a question, you're watching me on Instagram or on Facebook, please, you can drop the questions in the chat. I will read from those channels. And if you are on Zoom, there are two things we could do. You could type in the comment section. Please, when you are asking a question in the comment section, I beg you, do not give me half information. Half information does not help me give you clarity. I say people call me Clarity King doesn't mean that I'm not a witch. Like I will not automatically know your life history. It's like a professional comes in and says, oh, doc, do you think it's advisable for me to transition into XYZ career? I studied engineering in school and I have 10 years experience. That is half information, because in my head, I would automatically assume that, okay, because you studied chemical engineering in school, you are also doing all your 10 years of experience in chemical engineering. But then I start giving you advice, and I say, no, I've been doing sales in the bank. And I say, that is half information. Because as a professional, the kind of advice I will give you will be based on experience. It will be different. So you first need to be, like when you are giving me information in the chat session, and that you need clarity, and this clarity is about what you need to do, not about our programs. Give me as much information as possible. In fact, if you're a professional, your education is the least of your problem in this room. Like the education you acquired 10, 15 years ago is not really relevant for me to advise you. It's most likely what you have been doing since that 15 years that is the most relevant thing for me to advise you with. Do you understand me? So please ensure that you give me information to be able to help you with. If you join this thing and you're assuming is a what are they calling it? It's a teaching session. I will be teaching based on the questions people ask me, because we teach you every day. We send you emails to teach you, but I still know that many have questions. So however it is you like to ask your question, if you're on Zoom, use the raise hand button. If you're on Zoom, use the raise hand button or type in the comment section. It doesn't matter. But please, if you're going to use the raise hand button, you have only 1 minute. We have over 100 people in the room. Do you understand me? You have over 100 people in the room. So you cannot afford to use everybody's time. 1 minute, articulate what you want to say, your name, and you say, oh, this is my years of experience. This is the school I had, and this is what I've done. This is what I am thinking of doing. How do you suggest I proceed based on this information? This is what somebody has told me. Is it true? Like, give me information in 1 minute, then we can treat your information. Are we good? Do we agree to ensure that we are not, going on and giving me a relevant story, and we quickly, get right to the point of the question? Now, one question has come in on this thing, and this person has, and if you are on Zoom, you do not want to, what's it called? You do not want to you do not want people in the room to know that you are asking that question. You can see me talking as a co-host, right? Send the message to me privately. I won't mention your name. Do you understand? If you do not want to know that it is, you don't want people to know that it is you that is asking that question. On Zoom, use the private this thing, and we can then I can read it out. So you have various options. You can use the raise hand button. I think Tunde make sure he has used the raise hand button. You can type in the comment section for free, and you can also use the anonymous that it is only me that is reading that message. Everything, it is all right. The whole idea is for you to, get your question answered. So this person said, I left corporate job over. So after this, I read this person's question on Zoom. I will allow Tunde Meshoye to unmute himself. Then I will see if I have questions from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Do we have a deal? Now let's read. I left corporate job over 10 years ago after almost 20 years for my business, but now I want to work remotely in customer service space, currently in Skill for Work training. Just need clarification on this transition. You left corporate job over 10 years ago after almost 20 years for your business, but now you want to work remotely. You need clarification on this transition, and you need to go into the customer service space. So in your corporate role, like I said, when you're talking about your experience as an experienced person, please let me know, in your corporate role, was customer service what you did for almost 20 years? Was that where you resigned from? Because if it is, it's a different advice I'll give to you. If it is not, I will give you a different advice. Do you understand me? So I'm going to wait for you to answer that question, because you seem to be clear about you wanting to go to the customer service space and you want to work remotely as a customer service person. So your corporate experience, was it in customer service? Was it in something else? That will give me perspective. Why do I keep emphasizing that you should give me idea about what your corporate experience was about if you are someone that has worked before? Please note, if you're a recent graduate in this room, and you are not, what are they calling it? And you are saying, no, this is not only for professionals, this is not only for female, this is not only for males, for everybody. I have 60-something-year-old retirees, I have 15-year-olds in this room. So it is for everybody, because people keep asking that question. So if you're a fresh graduate and you ask me this question, for instance, you want to do customer service, I'll say, oh, take WFS, because you just need WFS to get started in customer. But for an experienced person, the kind of job you probably want to get is at least is not an entry-level kind of job. So I might advise differently. Do you understand me? So, but now I want to work in customer service. So currently on Skill for Work, just encouraging on this transition. Was a banker and operations expert, but my core area is in customer service. You are a banker. When you say your core area, like when you are doing that banking work in operations, you are in customer service. I am going to assume that is what it means. So fantastic. What it means is you already have experience in customer service. You did not just do it remotely while you were in the bank, but then you left customer service 10 years ago. It's a decade. A lot has changed in one decade, even in the banking sector that is online. That is on site. So what it means is, first, you may need, and the fact that you want to work remotely, look, anybody that is listening to me right now, you want to work remotely, you want to do, it doesn't even matter the job you want to do remotely. You need what I call the remote workers skills. I don't like to say soft skills because it evolved. Remote worker skills evolved during COVID. Like before, you say you need soft skills. And when people talk about soft skills, people used to talk about soft skills with relations to on-site job. They say, you need to know how to do Microsoft Word. That is what people used to refer to as soft skills. But alas, the demand of what soft skills is changed a bit, right? It changed a bit. Why did I say it changed a bit? COVID ensured that when you are trying to work remotely, you need just beyond you need the soft skills that they always list you, leadership, communication, and everything. You now need that's conventional soft skills. You need the digital skills. You need to understand, if you are working remotely, in the global space, you need to understand cultural nuances, which falls under life skills, attitudes, and things like that. You also need to understand, as in beyond those three that I've mentioned, I call it, you need to have, what's it called? You need to have structure. You need to have, it's like you need to have a bit of project management skills to work remotely in the global space. So I do not like to refer to what you need for any remote work as soft skills. I like to refer to it as workplace foundational skills or remote worker skills, whatever it is you call it. But I like to refer to it as remote worker skills and or workplace foundational skills. Now, given that you are on WFS, which is Workplace Foundational Skills Program at the Skill for Work Academy, what it means is you've already started to acquire the skills to work remotely. But for you in the customer service, this thing, I can almost bet that the kind of knowledge you have about customer service a decade ago, it has evolved. So you also need to brush up your knowledge in the technicality of customer service. Now, if you were a recent graduate, I would say WFS is enough. But the fact that you have 20 years experience, right? It means that you need a job that is a bit higher than an entry-level job. Because in the global space, you won't be hired as an entry level. You won't be hired as an entry level. With your 20 years work experience in the customer service, you are going to be hired. If you go to LinkedIn right now, you should be searching for job roles like customer relationship manager at the associate level and things like that. So it means that for you, trying to work remotely as an entry level, you will just be thinking, is it that I'm not qualified? Whereas when you apply for the job and you submit your CV, they'll be saying 20 years. No, now you should be applying for something higher. So for someone like you, if you're on WFS, I would say you have the experience. I don't know what your pocket is. If you could afford GOP, I would have recommended GOP to you. GOP is a Global Opportunities Program, a program where we teach professionals, academic and founders with experience how to use that experience to attract opportunities to themselves. Why do I always emphasize the word attract? Because when you are attracting an opportunity, the person is the one reaching out to you. You are not reaching out to them. And in all honesty, for an experienced professional, you are in a better situation when they are reaching out to you than when you are reaching out to them. Because when they are reaching out to you, they have seen the years of experience you bring to the table. And it's even if you are technically still in the industry of, oh, you've been out of the job for 10 years, but they know that your years of experience with a little support here and there, they could proceed with you. But you must understand how to even do the work you want to do remotely. And I'm glad that you said you've already started the WFS, which is the skill or the program. We call it the remote workers program because it teaches you the digital skills you will need for the remote work. It teaches you the soft skills, the life skills you will need for it. It also teaches you the structure, the project management you will need to manage yourself while you are working with that thing. So I don't want to mention your name, but I assume you are listening to me. With your 20 years of experience, you really, because there's no, I won't advise you to go and take any certification in customer service. You already understand how it works. So what you now need is soft skills, which you are acquiring, remote workers, which you are acquiring to learn how to work remotely, and GOP program, so that you are not going to apply. Even if you apply, you can apply with, there are some jobs on LinkedIn that you apply with your LinkedIn profile. And for you to build an outstanding LinkedIn profile for that your years of experience, you will need GOP. Trust me on that one. So that would be my advice. Now, Tunde Meshioye, please unmute yourself. Aisha, unmute Tunde Meshioye. After Tunde Meshioye, it will be Kendi Oluwafemi. But that you are going to unmute. So, Aisha, have you unmuted Tunde Meshioye so that he can ask his questions, please? And if you're on Instagram, please drop your question. Facebook, drop your questions. I'm here to answer everybody tonight as much as I can. Please go on.
Okay. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, Mr.
My question is quite direct. I've been an entrepreneur in the last 10 years. Now, I'm a certified business coach and mentor in the last 5 years. How do I attract global opportunities? I have years in the corporate world before I move to entrepreneurship.
What
I'm
is
also
that? What is that corporate experience?
entrepreneur, to be good on what they do. But I just want to attract more global opportunities. Simple.
For your your now coaching business or as an individual to work?
Is that what?
Hello, can you hear me? Are you trying to attract global opportunities for your enterprise, for your business, or like your
No,
venture, or
it's
for
for my
you as
business
a
coaching.
person?
For my
So,
business coaching.
so you technically you are trying to attract clients for your business.
Yes.
Great. Now, what is your experience in the corporate world before you started your business coaching?
I have about 20 years solid experience in
In what?
multinationals. At least I have an MBA in marketing. I left as a
So,
GM,
when you are working with those multinationals, in what capacity?
as a marketing manager, and then
Okay.
head of a subsidiary. So I combine
Okay.
operation, sales and marketing, but my core area of specialty is in sales and marketing.
Great. Fantastic. So, what I'm saying that is, you said you had 20 years of experience prior to you starting your thing about 5 years ago. So your thing that you're currently doing now, I am assuming it is centered around sales and marketing.
Business growth,
Because
business structures, and the rest.
great. And the kind of opportunities you are looking to attract is actually humans, like, or, businesses to your business, to your
Yeah.
thing. Fantastic. So I think I have enough information to work with, then I can this thing. So here's what I'm going to recommend to you. First, you need that, like, I'm going to use myself as an example so that it's more relatable for you. When I am trying to attract opportunities for Skilled for Work Academy or partnerships or whatever it is I'm trying to attract for the venture, I use a different approach. I mean, I'm trying to attract opportunities to position myself to work at Museum for the United Nations, for instance, right? Why am I saying so? When you are trying to position your venture or your business, it means that you need to showcase that business and its ability to deliver what it says it will deliver to the people you are trying to attract, right? So it means that there are different things you could be showcasing in that business. However, if you are using LinkedIn, it means that you are trying to attract a certain kind of audience that are already probably they've started a business and they are trying to structure it. They are trying to, just let me put it, use the word structure, they're trying to structure it. So what it means is you need the fact that you say you also have an MBA is an advantage for you, but it cannot be what you are front loading. It can't be what you are front loading. So your experience in that corporate world is what you should be front loading, because again, you say your corporate world is also in multinationals. It means that you have seen business structure at high levels. So what it means is you need to then build a personal profile on LinkedIn that showcases that your years of experience in such a way that someone that is maybe, I'm going to say maybe a starter in business or that is just having challenges in their business, going to say, oh, this is the person's organization I want to go to for consulting. And now, because again, you have experience in this thing and that, you should also be looking to attract people that are looking to establish something in Nigeria that do not have a foot in Nigeria, but they will need a consultant to set up whatever it is they are trying to set up in Nigeria or Africa as a whole. Right? That is so beyond you attracting one person. I always say there are two rules on in LinkedIn. You could be attracting individuals and you could be attracting corporates, right? So I
Okay.
always say, you are chasing the sheep or you are chasing the shepherd. Whenever I'm chasing the
Okay.
shepherd, that is the corporate, I am using the business venture I'm using the business page to attract them. Whenever I'm chasing sheep, that is one person, I am using my personal profile. So for someone like you that you have an amazing pedigree in terms of your experience, what I typically advise is it is easier for you to penetrate LinkedIn with your person than we slowly migrate to this thing. So it's more like it is easier to build your personal brand on LinkedIn, and it's auto, like it's easy, it just automatically affects the business venture in a very short time.
Okay.
So that would be my advice to you. But for you to showcase that expertise, you need to ensure, because what I have seen corporate people do, the mistakes I've seen corporate people make, and I've taught a lot of people that they have years of corporate experience using the PPP. PPP means profile platform positioning, right? That is the framework I teach to professionals. Now I've seen them, the mistake they make. Give me a minute, please. Okay. That's my alarm going off for Isha, so I just need to mute it. Okay, great. The mistake I've seen professionals make is you talk a lot about your experience, but you are trying to attract one client, and you are going on and on about your own experience in the corporate world without you trying to show them how that experience can help them. Right? So, and those are part of the things I teach on the GOP, how to actually put out the content that makes sense to your ideal audience. And just like I said, now for you, your ideal audience are two sets of people. So it means your content, some of the content will be to attract one person. Some of the content will be to attract bigger corporations. Because the truth is, bigger corporations, it may be a little bit more tedious, but when the result shows, you forget all the amount of time that you have invested in it, like, because they bring in more stability, more money, and things like that. So for you, Mr. Tunde, honestly, I think since you are not even trying to acquire any skill set to do any work for anybody, I think the program I recommend for you at iTrain Africa will be GOP, because you need to build your personal profile on LinkedIn. Because that is what attracts those people to you, the personal profile you build on LinkedIn. And in building that person, you have what it takes. You have that years of experience that it takes to build such a profile that can then attract such people. You have it, you are like an ideal candidate for GOP. So my advice would be for you to probably enroll for the batch that is starting on this November 8th. I think the next one after that is in March of 2025 or thereabout. So that will be this thing. LinkedIn is your go-to place. Trust me. LinkedIn is your go-to place for the goal you need. It's your go-to place. Like, I give you about there's a particular person that I'm thinking about her right now, and I remember when she came on GOP in February. She was a core corporate person, no consulting, no nothing, core corporate person. And this was the same advice I gave to her. In fact, she paid me for that consultation session. She paid me 107,500. I said, babe, just go on my GOP, because the truth is, you need the GOP. There's no advice I give you right here. You need to learn the framework on how you would position yourself on LinkedIn. And that was what I think she joined us in February. And between February of last year and now, I kid you not, she has attracted 5 categories of global opportunities. When I say categories, I mean she has been reached out to. When she joined me then, she had less than 500 connections. And when the first person reached out to her, she still had about 500 and something connections. And they were reaching out to her to come and consult for them in that space. And she was like, woo, like, she didn't put out anything that she was consulting. And I remember her coming back to the GOP group, then to ask me, or to me to come and ask me, should she charge the person money? I said, I don't understand. So I finished teaching you this framework to position yourself. Then a startup reach out to you to say, can you help them do this particular distance? I think you will charge it. You just became a consultant because of what you're doing. And that was the first particular one. The next 2 weeks, she had this organization reaching out to her to influence their corporate products. And she was like, I have 1,000 for less than 1,000 for, like, how can I be doing an influencer on LinkedIn? And I told her that in LinkedIn, people value quality over quantity. let me give you perspective on that. If you, for instance, have 1,000 connection on LinkedIn, but the kind of content you put out shows that you have sense, and when your content have sense on LinkedIn, what happens is people in your industry get to comment like intellectually under your post. And when they comment intellectually, people that is calling me, someone can be calling me. People that are intellectual would also get to follow you. And when they follow you, people who need how do I explain it? For instance, if there's a Tony Elumelu under your posts commenting on LinkedIn, what it means is people that want the attention of Tony Elumelu knows that you have his audience. What do you think is going to happen? So those are some of the strategies that we discuss on GOP. Like it's not quantity, it's not 1,000. Is very unlike other platforms. It's so big on quality, so big on quality. Like it's so big on quality. You can have 150 connections on this thing and you're attracting opportunities. It's very unlike other platforms. It's the quality that you should be chasing. My voice is not low. I guess it's Cindy. Actually talking this thing. So let me take a question from Instagram so that no one is feeling left out. How do I get into WFS? WFS, that is Workplace Foundational Skills Program. Click the link at the top of our, this is on Instagram, click the link at the top of this thing and enroll. If you cannot enroll online, send us a DM and somebody will send you the link to enroll via bank transfer or send you a link to enroll. If you are joining from outside Nigeria, you have to enroll through the link. If you are joining from Nigeria, you can enroll through bank transfer or testing. And even if you're outside Nigeria, if you click the link, you can have option of Momo, all those mobile money things, you can have that option. So WFS is your starting place, like I explained earlier. So now, thank you very much. Let me read. There's a question on Facebook. Good evening, happy new month. Happy new month to you too. Okay, it's not a question, it's actually just a question. So let's read from the comment section again. So after I read, we are going to answer Kendi Oluwafemi's question. So Kendi Oluwafemi, get ready. The next question is, this person is from Cameroon. I have a master's degree in banking and finance. My desire is to work remotely. I need to know exactly the training and what it would take. I have never worked, but done a series of internships. So this person that you say, you have a master's degree in banking and financing, that is, I put it as education. You know what? While I'm going to answer this question, I'm going to do a bit of explanation, like a quick crash course to explain this thing. I need to know exactly the training, what it would take. I have never worked before, but done a series of internships. Now, series of internships in what? This person, can you reply me? Mba Dozia Acha from Cameroon. What were the internships in? What were the internships in? Please just drop that comment quickly for me. Let me know what the internship was in. Mba Acha from Cameroon. You say you have a master's degree in banking and finance. You want to work remotely. You have never worked, but you have a series of internships. Internships in what? Please, whenever you people are dropping this kind of thing, you saw the way I asked Mr. Tunde Meshoye to ask, what is this thing in? Why am I saying that? Let me do a quick crash course for everybody that is listening. When you intend to do anything remotely, right? Know that they are more concerned about if you are able to deliver on how you work than the main work you want to do. You will be shocked. Like, let me give you an instance. You want to work as an HR online, remotely. Your interview is most likely centered around how are you going to be able to deliver the work you want to do for us in a remote setting? And that is a problem. That is what people keep missing. I always say, please, you are not the one setting your interview question. It is not your auntie, your daddy, your mommy, all the people giving you advice to go and do MBA certification or whatever educational thing that they have advised you. Know that the person who is going to give you that opportunity sets the criteria. And in my experience, and when I say my experience, I have a very diverse experience. I have worked on site at the university as a teacher in Nigeria. I have worked at Natural History Museum of London remotely on the project. I have worked at Museum for the United Nations as a global program coordinator. And what I'm going to use the example of those 2 interviews. I can tell you for free that the interview centered more around how do I work with my other team members? They were not asking me they were not questioning my ability to coordinate. You know why? I attracted the opportunity. Why do you think they came to me? They have probably seen me in my act of coordination, doing my business, doing all those global mentorship conference. So they reach out to me knowing I can do the job, like the job of the coordination and all those things and design thinking. But the interview was now to ascertain, can I fit into that workspace, which is the remote workspace? And that is where most Africans lose. Because that's one, there is no point. And I always say it categorically. If you have to work for me remotely, let me use an example. What are the common things I have in my organization? You're a content creator, for instance, in my organization. You could be a great content creator, but if my major challenge with you every time is that I am chasing you up and down for workflow issues. What do I mean by workflow issues? Like, maybe I've told you, please, by Sunday, make sure that you have put this content in this Excel sheet so that your next line, the person that is going to take that content can now design a graphic for it, so that I can now come and approve it, so that the social media person can post it on Monday. No matter how great your content is, your inability to work remotely or to have the skill set to follow that workflow will ensure that even if you've delivered good content, that content will never make it to the light of day. It will not make it to social media. You know why? You did not place it in the right place. So I end up chasing you up and down and saying, may say the person's name is Ade. I'm saying, Ade, where is the content? To now top it, you are not responsive on Slack, which is a communication channel most of those people will use. So the fact that you're not responsive, that means first, you did not understand workflow, which is a remote worker skill. Second, you lack ability to communicate in a remote workspace because I've tagged you on Slack and you are not responding. Then you will now come on Monday and say, Ma, sorry, I did not see your email. I did not see your WhatsApp message. You should have given this. And you come and give me a series of complaints about, Ma, but that content really do well. But guess what? Your content never got posted. You know why? Your inability to have what I call the remote worker skill, it totally negates. It negates that work you have done. So I would not even think about the work you have done because the work was not really done. The work that you did that I could not use because it was you lacked communication, you lacked ability to fit into the workflow. Then what am I going to do with it? So whenever you see people or you go to interviews and people are asking you, have you worked remotely before? Have you worked internationally before? What they are simply trying to deduce is, if we get this one into our team, will the person be a dick for us? Will their remote worker skill be lacking enough to disrupt the entire workflow of the organization? So when you say you have done a series of internships, I needed to do this explanation that in somebody trying to, if you say you want to work remotely, you need 3 things. Your ability to do the main job they are employing you for, which is, in this case, I'm assuming you want to do something in the financial sector. I'm assuming. Can you do the work in that financial sector? 1. Now, can you do the work in a remote setting? You can be a project manager that is fantastic in a construction company on site, but you will not be able to do a project management in the online space. They are 2 different things. Why? For you to know how to do project management, you have the technicality of the job. technical skills to do the job. One requirement. It is one of three things, 30%. For you to then be able to do it in the digital space or in the modern space, in the global space or in the remote space. Because if you are in Africa, wherever it is you are, and you say you want to work remotely, it means that the kind of remote opportunity you're looking for is borderless. So it means once an opportunity is borderless, it is a global opportunity. Now, that borderless global opportunity needs your remote worker skill. So if you have never, and there are only two ways you can acquire that remote worker skills right now. It is either you have actually done the remote work internationally or you are learning from WFS. And even if I say so myself, I've never seen a more comprehensive remote workers program than the WFS. Because while others are teaching you soft skills, I am teaching you 4 major things that I know will help you succeed in the remote work. The digital skills of it, the soft skills of it, the life skill of it and cultural nuances of it, and management of yourself of the job. I call it self-management and project management. There is a particular model on WFS, we call it the structure model. On that structure model, we teach you how to design to-do lists for yourself on a remote job, the kind of things you could do to ensure that they are not chasing you up and down, to structure your work and your life on that remote job. I cannot overemphasize it. Your inability to structure yourself on a remote job, you are out the door. No matter how good your technicality is. Now, I'm going to, you've dropped your answer regarding that. Why did I say a series of internship? I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Acha. It is easy to employ a person who has masters, who has never worked before, on site, and gradually train them to do the job you want them to do. It is not as easy for a company to employ you remotely to do a job and start training you on the job. So the kind of leeway you will get, like a bank employs you, you are coming on site, they probably send you to training school. After a while, you are in the office shadowing a person. You are shadowing that person. But in a remote work, I have a boss maybe who is in India, 4.5 hours ahead of me. I have a subordinate who is in Alaska, about 9-something hours behind me. That means the time I am doing the work, I am doing it alone because our time is not. So it means that it is very hard to shadow someone in a remote work, which is why many remote employers always want the people that have done it before. Because how do I give you to go and do project management and you cannot do it remotely? It means that I will employ you, but you just be sleeping in your house because you cannot do the job. Unlike if you were in the office, you can go to somebody and say, let me sit down and look at it. So when you understand this, you understand why you are not getting a remote job. It is because it is harder for them to, let's even assume that they were magnanimous enough to want to train you. It is harder for them to train you. There is a reason I started WFS. I said, since they don't want to train you and they don't want to tell you that they don't want to train you, train yourself. So that when they ask you, have you done this thing remotely? Oh, actually, on the WFS, we had 2 major projects where we worked on this, da. You can narrate that experience because you actually have the skill now and you are narrating your experience of doing a project around that before. You have something to tell. So your internship in this regard, Dozier, will be your joker in you getting the, of course, internship meaning that when you are interning, you did the job. If you're an intern and you're in this room, you interned in name, not intern in work. There's a difference. You can, because again, if you're in year 2, year 3, they send you for internship. And some of the people in Nigeria, this is not me trying to be funny. Some of us know that during internship, people just went to start buying amala from Iya Basira, trying to gist about one film that they watched yesterday. Like, I beg, let's just do the internship and go. If that is the kind of internship, you have not interned. I'm talking about the internship that you did work and actually gain certain experience. You see that kind of experience, right, is what you are now going to use to get a remote job. But now, why am I saying that experience? That experience will count as work. It will mean that you have the technicality to do the work that you have done before. So the only thing you probably need to now join with it is to now say, okay, I have the technicality because I have done the work. Let me now learn remote worker skills so that I have the skills to do any job remotely. Then the job I want to do remotely, I have intended in that specific role before. I will now join it. Then I'm ready for the remote workspace. Kehinde Oluwafemi, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I appreciate you for the great work you are doing.
Thank
I pray the
you.
Lord will increase your knowledge.
Amen.
My question is, I raised that question on WhatsApp with I think there is somebody we chat with
Yes,
on
please go
WhatsApp.
on. Please, can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question?
So my confusion is just a kind of confusion. Actually, I have my first degree in education English and my second degree in education management. And I've been teaching for close to years. So, but
close to how many years?
Close to 30 years. So when I was running my degree, I also did some certifications. I have certification in customer care, human resource management, and quality assurance. Then I did this thing, copywriting. I learned copywriting. I also learned how to KDP, Amazon KDP publishing. So I have those skills.
What's the question?
So my question is that when I did I've been desiring to do remote job, but since I didn't know about it, so when I saw your program, I joined, and I'm presently on WSF. But my question now is that you said the GOP is for the people who are at the middle or the highest level of their career. So when I raised that question on the platform, when I asked, the person was advising me to go for GOP because of my years of experience. But my question now is that
you are trying to achieve?
Now,
to
when
get
I
a
was
remote job in what field?
Yes, as I keep watching that video, our program, I discovered that
WFS, okay?
Yes, I discovered that I don't have the skill I need for the WSF. So my plan was to go for internship before the GOP. And one of the technical, maybe content, she advised me to go for content creation, but she was saying I should go for GOP. So I got confused because my own is that I think I should.
Let me ask you a question. You have 30 years in teaching.
Yes.
The remote opportunity or job you want to get
is for
Are you trying to get it in your field?
No, the area of my certifications, something like I created customer care. I want to go for customer care.
So you want to transition
away
kind of from your experience. If you want to transition, your option will be to go and learn the technical skill of what you are transitioning into. Okay. GOP is for, I have experience in teaching, or whatever it is you have experience in. I want to get opportunities using this experience. So you will be getting experience around education. But now that you decided that you don't want to, get experience, opportunities around education, you want to leave that space. That means you are transitioning. For anybody that is transitioning, you are a beginner. A beginner does not mean a recent graduate. A beginner means someone who is just starting off in something. So in your case, you are a beginner. Now, if I may ask, is there a reason you said you have done several certifications and you now narrowed your decision down to customer service? Is there a reason you chose customer service to then continue your career in?
Because I have certification in it.
And that's not enough reason.
Okay.
Certification, I can get 10 certifications in a day. And I'm not even joking about it. I can get certifications in a day. Like, certification is pure water. Like, certification is like having a paper to show that you can do something, but you cannot really do it. So certifications, in all honesty, I always use myself as an example, so that it's not as if I'm talking of this thing. I have been employed internationally twice. I don't have one certification in the things they employed me for. The two major things my UN Life job needed was my ability to coordinate and also to facilitate. So I could narrate my facilitation experience from my teaching job at university and also all those teaching I do, this kind of teaching, and I could narrate to them my coordination ability because I've run a business for the longest time. They didn't need any certification in program coordination. Do you understand me? So you think they really hired me to manage 30 facilitators across 6 or how many time zones because I have a certification that says I can do it? Experience supersedes. And for everybody in the room, I'm going to reiterate this. In the international space, in the global, even in Nigeria, experience supersedes any paper thing, whether it's a certification or degree. Experience supersedes it. And coming from me that I have 3 degrees, I have a PhD. You should really take it seriously. So certification that, I got certification in. So what it means is you can change your mind tomorrow and say, okay, I did certification in data analysis. Let me go to data analysis. I did certification in this thing. Let me do this. I did certification in this. Like, you can keep changing careers by the day just because you have certification in it. It doesn't work that way. So if I was to advise you, I would say, I do not have against any you transitioning. I transitioned my entire career in 2020 after being in the 3rd year of my PhD. But I was I was super clear about my reason. I knew that I needed to come into I didn't want to remain in the academic space teaching chemistry. I wanted to come into the world, into the social, I wanted to come into the enterprise to create something that could help people, which is what I'm currently doing, this SFW, to teach people what can them get work and economic growth. Was not to go and get certification in it. What would I have gotten certification in coaching? Because I'm trying to think, what do you think at that time, given my goal, what would I have gotten certification in? So the next thing I did was to go and look for people who had experience in launching an online business, because I was very sure I wanted to reach the entire of Africa. So it goes without saying that I needed knowledge around how to create digital products that can then reach people from across the world. So I did gap analysis. I am glad you say you're on WFS. When you did your gap analysis, which is in module 1, lesson 4, there is a reason we put clarity module at the beginning of Workplace Foundational Skills Program. It is because before you come and start proceeding, you need to be clear about now. If you had told me that when I took personality tests in module 1 of WFS, I realized that I like to attend to people, I like to manage people, I like to solve people's problem. I would say, okay, it is worth it. If you have spent 30 years of your life doing what you don't really like, who said you cannot live for the next 30 years working or something like that? It is all right to now say, oh, because this is what your passion is. Not passion, this is where your natural this thing lies. Can we then, transition you into what you know you can do well for the rest of your life? Fantastic reason. But to say, because you did certification in KDB, certification is not enough to this thing, no. So, is there any other reason apart from the certification why you chose customer service as where you now really want to do?
Actually, I think out of all those skills I have, I think that one is the most convenient for me to.
Convenient.
Yes.
For do you that naturally like to solve people's problems?
Yes, yes. Naturally, I love solving people's problems. It's not even though it's not as if I don't like teaching. Teaching is one of my gifts and it's one of my hobbies. But just that I don't want to change. I want to change because I've been doing it for almost 30 years. Now,
Okay,
I want to.
great. Fantastic. Now, ask yourself, if you have to do customer relationship management in the online space, let me give you a quick description of what those jobs look like. Typically, when you're managing customer relationships online, like, do you understand, for an organization, your day-to-day, depending on the organization that employs you, your day-to-day will involve, it is either you are trying to help the customer understand how to use the product of that organization, the same way you will come to Moina on WhatsApp. Moina is saying, Moina is recommending to you that this is the product you should take, walking you through those products, or you are trying to convince those people to even get on that program. That's what customer relationship really is. Or they are using your product and they are coming back to you to say, I don't know how to do this thing. Now, depending on what the organization is doing, if the organization is an educational company, like an ed tech like my own, you are trying to walk them through their courses. If it is like, let me say, an organization that manufactures software, like they do software, they manufacture apps. It means that in you doing customer service, you must understand the product of that organization, meaning the app. Meaning that if a customer calls you, you must be able to explain how the app works to the customer. Visualize what I have explained.
Yes.
Do you think it is something you will be happy to learn about the app of a tech organization enough for you to be able to use it to support their customers?
Definitely.
Now, I needed to ask you that question so that I know the next line of advice to give to you. Now that you understand that, my advice would be, please pay attention to your WFS well. Like 70% of your customer, like the skills you need in customer service will be learned on WFS. Now, the next thing I'll probably ask you to learn is definitely not GOP, because you're not trying to attract opportunity in your teaching job. So that experience is kind of not relevant. Again, that 30 years is not relevant to what you want to do. You are now a beginner. You'll be getting entry-level jobs in customer service. My advice would be, do WFS, try to do internship. You need to go and do internship. Like, that's the classic model. The classic model, like, why do I say you would intern as a customer? Like, you need to follow Chinenye's route. Let me just put it that way. Chinenye is the person that was doing community management for the, like, you probably would know, actually was doing community management for iTraffic as the last month and things like that. That, like, you need to go from WFS to this thing. Now, because most customer service role, or most, not service, customer support role, we typically mean that you need to create content in one form or the other. It's funny how that is the thing, but you will need to create content in one form or the other. If you have to take a technical skill, it will be content creation. If you have to take a technical skill, it will be content creation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But in the order of needing something, it will be WFS.
Internship.
And you are taking technical skill alongside an internship. So even if you are taking internship you are doing content creation in technicality, you would be applying to an organization to serve in the capacity of customer management. So at that way, you are learning to manage your customers on the job in that internship or volunteer, whatever it is. So I think Moina definitely did give you the right advice regarding what you need to probably do next. But please pay attention to your WFS. 70% of what you need for your customer service system is on WFS.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
Okay, ma.
Yes. So I'm going to read a question from this thing. Awal Ganiyat, I'll come next to you. Oh, well, it's already 8 p.m. But let me take questions from the chat to ensure that please, if you want to ask your question in person in this thing, please use the raise hand button. If you want to ask in the chat, please just drop the chat. I'll read it out and answer as fast as I can. Dr. A, I love you. I love you too, Sandra. You've been with us since 2021 or 2020. My name is, okay, not this person. Okay, the next thing is I have a BTech in chemical engineering since 2015. 2 years teaching STEM courses, 2016 to 2018. 5 years as an assistant at the university, 2016 to 2021. Currently completing a master's in public health. Want a remote, well-paid job to allow me to raise my children for the next 10 years. My interests are water quality and access, waste management, control quality, and energy management. So you are teaching. So what you are doing for 7 years technically is teaching science and basically teaching the university. You are doing a master's in public health. I really do not see why you are on that master's in public health. I don't understand what your rationale for going for a master's in public health is. Because it doesn't tie. If you are someone in this room and you are contemplating a master's in whatever, whether it is MBA, MSc, MA, whatever it is you are contemplating, let me give you free advice. The only person that should be taking a master's that is not relevant to the job they want to deliver is someone that wants to go into lecturing. Because for lecturing, you need to have a master's and subsequently a PhD. If your goal is not to lecture, I do not advise you to have a first degree and go and have a master's when you are not clear about how that master's will help you in your career that you are already doing. Same thing with an MBA. I believe it is a person that is running a business that now wants to scale that business and is having challenges because their knowledge, the knowledge they use to start that business can no longer allow them to scale it. They now go and invest money in an MBA. Or you are a professional in the marketing, sales, operations space, and you have spent 5, 7, 10 years in your career. You have gotten to some certain level of managerial role that requires that you have knowledge to now do that managerial role. Then you enroll for an MBA. In all of this, you doing the job, whether you are doing it as an entrepreneur or you are doing it in an organization and you have had experience in it, but you now know that your capacity in doing that specific job is no longer enough. That is when you should get a master's degree. The moment I'm seeing that master's in public health, it doesn't tie to what you are doing before. So it is not, it does not add to you technically. Now, what you want is a remote, well-paid job. As what? I always ask this question, and it always seems like I'm Ash. When people give you well-paid jobs, or even give you any job at all, it is because they know you have value that you need to exchange for money. Payment for a job is as a result of value exchange. You can deliver value to me for the thing I have no capacity to do. And in exchange, I will give you money. In the entire equation of job, employer, employee, what you want is, it doesn't have any significance. If it is about what you want, even me, I will wake up and I say, I want to work with the UN at Washington, and I want them to pay me $1 million. Anybody can say what they want. Do you understand me? But the difference between wanting something and being able to get it are two major things. When you want something, I would say, do you have the requirements for that thing? And the second thing is, do you know where to get it? Do you have the requirements for that thing, and do you know where to get it? The very first one is the most important one. Why do I say that? If you had told me I was teaching STEM courses and everything, and you had said I want to, I'm looking at your research assessment, and you're telling me that you want to be a research, something around research. Like we go to LinkedIn and type something around research, for instance, and something pops up, and you want a well-paying job in research, in the academic space. I'll say fantastic, because that one now you can say, you've done it now. I will say you've done it. So what we simply need to do is, how do we then package your experience in this researching thing? Since you have cumulative of 7 years experience in teaching/research assistantship, I would have recommended that enroll for GOP, so we can then teach you the mechanism on how to package this, your research or your academic or all those line of work. Then you can now use it to build a profile that will now help you in getting opportunities around that. Now, whether it is well-paying or not, it will be like something that is well-paying. When I tell people that I can be, like, let me be honest with you, there are plenty well-paying opportunities on LinkedIn. I cannot even lie. There are some things I'm currently working on LinkedIn, and if you see the amount that is tied to those things, you are going to ask if it is possible to actually get paid that kind of money. And I'm sharing my screen right now so you can, because of what she said about well-paying, whatever, I'm going to click on jobs on my screen on LinkedIn. If you're on workplace foundational skills, what am I even saying? Even if you're not on workplace foundational skills, the free version of workplace foundational skills, when I say the free version, the version that gives you access to Module 1, if you are watching on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, go to Seller. Seller is a learning platform where people post courses. Look for iTrain Africa. Just search for iTrain Africa. When you search for us, there is workplace foundational skills. It has free workplace foundational skills. The first 5 lessons in that thing, I think the lesson 3 of it, this particular thing I just did, around showing you how to, this thing, you'll be able to do it, able to search for this kind of job. So for someone like you, if I type research assistants, right? And Canada is location, for instance, right? It will show me, it's showing me that there are 275 open jobs. Now, 275 open jobs, if I use the, what's it called? I tell this thing that I want it to be what? Remote and all that. I want this thing to be remote, right? And I type these remotes. It's showing me 5 options for like Canada. Do you understand? So you say you are teaching STEM courses. So I do not know what area of STEM is: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that is broad. So I do not really know, but I wanted to show you what you should probably be doing this thing. And all these things we teach it in WFS. In fact, since Module 1, we taught you how to do this thing. Now, it means that you can find them, because remember I said there are 2 major things you need in getting a well-paid remote job. You need to first be eligible for it, and you need to know where to find such. My advice for well-paying, Because again, people say, ma, what about remote AI? How about Upwork? They shall give me all those freelance websites. I said, fantastic sites. But I have narrowed down my own option to LinkedIn for several reasons. If I want to hold a masterclass on why LinkedIn, we will not leave here today. But one of the major reasons why I choose LinkedIn is the well-paying. You can see my screen, right? If you're on Instagram, you might not be able to see my screen, but you see this research associates, small molecule. They wrote 80K to 110K. That is the salary range. So I'm assuming that falls under well-paying for you. And you have the research assistant experience that you can use to do this kind of job. So the question is now, if I click such a job, if you already know where to find it, it meets you what you want, it is well paying. I always say the most important thing in this equation is, are you qualified for it? Do you meet the eligibility criteria? And what will make you eligible for this? First, your remote worker skill, or what people call soft skill. That is the first thing. Next, the technical skill, meaning that research assistantship you are doing, you are certain that is your technical skill for this job. Now, the third thing is, do you have relevant experience for this job? In your case, you have relevant experience. I am hoping your experience is relevant because I've been in the academic space and I know how certain things work sometimes. You may be in that space, but your experience is not relevant. Do you understand me? I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm saying. So if it is relevant, that means what you now need is you need the WFS and you need GOP for positioning. But the most important one you need, because you want the work remotely, is the WFS, which you call the Remote Workers Program. Because I have seen people that will not enroll for GOP. They will take WFS, but because they have experience, right? They have experience, they take WFS, they come and do all this hustle on their own and everything. They don't need to position, they apply for the job, they say, Doc, I don't need positioning. But for an experienced professional, I do not always advise that you don't build your LinkedIn profile. For an experienced professional, the global space is really concerned about how you actually look on LinkedIn. So even if they don't write it as a requirement, you can see that I'm lowering my voice. They will not write it as a requirement. But the moment you click apply, let me click this apply, the hiring manager will look at your LinkedIn profile up and may never reach out. So the question is, you don't even get to the interview phase because you have been prejudged based on your LinkedIn profile. Because again, it is an experienced position. But someone that is trying to apply for an internship or beginner level may not be judged by their LinkedIn profile. Which is why whenever experienced people always come to me and say, I say, it is an experienced job. They do not even care if your experience is not in LinkedIn looking good, or they do not care if your experience is not in personal branding, because this LinkedIn is actually personal branding. They don't care if your experience is not in that. They expect you to look a certain way in that space. So even while I was because in the past I've worked with AGMs of banks, as in not on WFS, I'm talking about the GOP program. The GOP program, WFS is just this year. I've been teaching professionals, founders, executive leaders, how to use GOP, that is my framework on GOP, PPP, to attract global opportunities for the longest time. Do you understand? I've been teaching that one for the longest time. So whenever I'm talking about that particular angle of using this thing, I will say, please note that that one is for experienced professionals. If you are here, you are listening to me because there are various people in this audience and you know you have experience, you want to work in the experience you have, please enroll for GOP, Global Opportunities Program. Because even if this thing I'm sharing on my screen, you can go and search it yourself. Searching it is typically not the problem. In fact, searching it is a problem for some. Why? They don't know what to search. For instance, somebody that is working in the bank, we come to LinkedIn, we'll be looking for banker. There is nothing like banker. Banker is vague. I will say, what were you doing in the bank? You are doing marketing, you are doing product management, you are doing operations, you are doing sales, what were you doing? That is what you should be searching. Do you understand? So, but again, on WFS, module 1 of WFS, I already taught you how to do this one. How to search. That one is common knowledge, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just saying that when you finish searching, one of the things I teach on GOP is by the time you come to this eligibility, some people don't even realize that they qualify for this thing. Because I realized while I was doing my international stuff that, hey, these people have a way of qualifying things. They will put this English here and there, Weibo adjectives. And in my head, I'm saying, I don't know how to do this thing. Whereas I know it. I just don't know that what they are referring to is that. Because in Africa, we know how to do this thing, but we are not big on nomenclature. Like we don't attach names to the things we know how to do. We're not big on nomenclature. So sometimes the only help, because sometimes some people come on my GOP program that is professional, and like, oh, so that is what they were referring to in that opportunity. Can you imagine? I can do it. I said, that's how, what you probably just needed was a bit of knowledge around how this, to be honest with you, GOP is more around helping you to brush up to fit into the international space for the job you already know how to do. Like branding you, packaging what you have to fit into that space for experienced professionals. So why don't I let, because it's an application-based program. If you are listening to me and you've never heard of GOP, GOP is Global Project, it's an application-based program. People apply. I think in the last 2 weeks, we have had 100 people apply for that program and rejected 19 people. Why? When beginners come to me and say, Doc, don't worry, I will cope, I will pay the 260 something thousand. Just I've seen that professionals are attracting these big things. I say, you cannot get into it. I cannot package fluff. When I say I teach you a framework that works, it has worked for people across over 20-something professional this thing. I tell you, I teach something that works with experience, but you come and tell me you are a beginner. You don't have experience, but you want to join GOP. You cannot join GOP because what I will teach you, you will need experience to execute it. Experience in the job that you do. So now I'm going to go to those people who are raising their hand. Let me see. Who is the next person that was raising her hand? Just give me a minute. Aisha, can you unmute the person that has that's Awal Ghanaiat? Let her ask a question. Awal Ghanaiat, please, Amina. I'm sorry, Aisha, Awal Ghanaiat. Please speak.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the, what would I say, the explanation
Clarity.
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm also one of the delegates on WSA, and
Okay.
so far so good. It has been an interesting one. So I pray Allah continue to strengthen you. Yeah, I've been wanting to ask you this question a long time now. I'm a graduate of accounting. That was in 2010. So I did my IT with Powerwood and then afterwards I was engaged as a casual worker and on the verge of starting us
Casual worker where?
power holding takes here and then.
Okay, okay.
So when Jonathan sold off the company, we were asked to go. So since then, I've been working with a Muslim school. This month,
Okay.
I'll be 8 years working there as working in the
Teaching,
bursing
right?
department. No, I was not teaching, the account officer, bursary slash store manager.
Store manager.
Yes, yeah, initially I started as the bossa of the school. In fact, I'm still being referred to as the bossa. So along the line, I had to merge both accounting and store work because we now have two additional staff that works in the account department. Now it's a kind of confusion and I'm being confused. I know I need to move on my career. Like I told you, I'm an accounting student. So and I've taken some courses online, but still not clear what to do. I'm like, should I still go for my ICANN? Someone advised I go into though the bookkeeping I've learned it some years back, but I was not able to use it because I didn't finish the training then. That I can still go for that. Then majorly what I think I felt, in fact, I felt like dropping my job because this is who I am. I am somebody that everybody likes to come to Bossa. We have this problem. Can you do this? Can you do that? So I get distracted in the school. At home, I have my boys. I'm a mother of six. So I just felt I need to work on myself. And one of those things that I was thinking like, did I just do away with the work, knowing fully that I can't do that because of the financial and everything that it got
Implication of it.
attached.
So
Yes,
my advice would be this. You say you're already on the WFS, right?
yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. So you have started. With WFS, you can get a
Yes.
job that has low barrier of entry. One of those jobs that you can do with only WFS is customer relationship management, what's it called? Community management. All those jobs that with only soft skill, you can do it. You can start. Why am I saying that? If you are able to really do your WFS, what it means is what you need next is an internship opportunity in community management, customer relationship management, sales executive, all those kind of stuff. Internship opportunity in it. Now, if that is why am I saying it? It is easy to move from WFS, do internship of 2 months, and move to start earning about 100K from a small business as a community manager, as a whatever. Do you understand? Doing all those jobs that have low entry. So at that way, you can mentally say in the next 3 months, I can leave this bossa work. Do you understand? Now, when you are, and in you doing that, make sure you probably target that. I don't know where you reside. I don't know where you reside. Make
I
sure you are
reside
targeting. Huh?
at the Millennium Housing Estate,
Okay. So make sure you are targeting to go and look for an organization that has a physical space that is close to you, that you can be a customer rep, a community manager, a whatever for. So when you are choosing to intern with such a digitally powered organization, you know that it is for a short time. Well, you will need certain level of brush because of you've always done school and all those things like the conventional store management and all those things. So you will need brush up. So for someone like you, I will not even really advise an online internship or volunteering this. You like make sure you are trying to intern in a place that even if it is 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you can go physically there. If you can go physically there, what it means is you can job shadow. When you job shadow, make sure you do everything to ensure that that internship converts to payments. Like it converts to retainership, not payments, like retainership. That is your lowest entry barrier. So why did I say make sure you do everything and master the work? So even if you want to negotiate your terms with that thing, let's say when you are doing that, your volunteering remote, whatever it is you are doing with that, this thing, even if you are going 5 times a day, make sure your work is so good that you can then, when they offer you employment, you cannot say, see, I want to do hybrid work. Can I do 2 days at home, 3 days on site? Just make sure that you know, do internship or volunteering and all, but you need that internship or volunteering experience to move. I would not advise you to continue and say, let's go. You can decide to now specialize in content creation later, but you need to start earning from WFS because you are already in a place that you don't really like what you are doing. Like you're already thinking about, I need to leave this place. So it means that what you already have, WFS, you need to know it well enough and use it to get the lowest entry barrier, this thing, which is community management and all that stuff. In fact, community management is the lowest entry of barrier. Community management it has very low barrier of entry. But please let me make you know that the lower the barrier of entry of a role, the lower the money in it. The higher the barrier of entry, meaning that the more technicality that is required to do that job, the higher the pay for it. But in your case, you first need that low entry barrier work. Get something that is just okay. Then you start to now say, okay, at least now I have first left this one. This one that I am doing, even if it is giving me the same money that one is giving me, even if it is not high, even if it is, at least I know that it is already a step to get to the next thing. Because now you are practicalizing what you learned in WFA, which is meaning you are gaining experience that is now relevant because that experience is not relevant. You will now be gaining experience that is relevant while you are now trying to decide, okay, this low entry barrier work, can I now specialize and make it project management or content writer and everything? I think that would be how I would advise you to proceed. WFS in school. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Welcome. So I'm going to read a question from, we need to really hasten this thing up, right? Okay, that person was, I said, very true, Doc. Lecturing was my initial plan, but the master's program was shaking me and I've lost interest in. I just, you didn't even have to reply me before I knew that that most likely was your plan and you realized that it was a no-go area later. So what I would say is, okay, so this person says, I have a BTech in chemical engineering since 2015, 2 years in teaching STEM. I've read that one before. And our reply was that the country that require hands-on experience. I agree with you. So most likely, please, in you searching for your remote job, gain the remote worker skills. I don't know if you're already on the WFS with them. If you are not, please enroll for it. Then try to then search for what you already have experience on. Don't even come and start what you don't have experience on because it will take you a longer time to start earning money from it. This person said, good day, Doc. I read computer science and I had a master's in public health and international affairs. You read computer science, then you went to public and international affairs. I've been working for 10 years in government social insurance organization as a claims and compensations officer, okay? So your master's international affairs, first degree computer science, work experience, claims and compensation officer. I want to work remotely as a data and I've done some courses on it. However, I do not have an international certification. Please, I need advice on how to start a remote side job. My advice, if you are starting data analysis because of your certification, you need to get a job. Like, how do I put it? Is it possible for you to internally repurpose yourself in your organization as a data analyst? Please look inward. Why do I say so? Claims and compensation, you have a bit of data going on here and there. Your international certification is not the passport to data analysis. You, however, need to have a job title that says you're a data analyst. The fastest place you can get that job title is within the organization you currently work. If there is a possibility that if there is a data analysis department or job role in your organization, even if somebody is in that job, try to start being friends with that person. When they have work to do, tell them you will do it for them. Let me help you. You will do your own job, the job you're currently doing. You will help them do their own job. You need to have a job title on your CV that says you've done data analysis. International certification is not your problem. I said something earlier. I said nobody wants to give their remote job to someone who has not done that type of thing before. There is a reason we at Skilled for Work Academy, our academy is designed to solve the problem that is existing. The major problem in the workforce is lack of workplace foundational skills, which is what WFS covers, and lack of relevant experience to the kind of remote job you want to do, which is what our internship program solves. The middle technical part is always not the problem. You know why technical is not the problem? You can open your eyes one day and say, I want to be a data analyst. You want to take a technical course in data analysis. I want to be a project manager. You can. Once you take the data, this thing, you become a data analyst in quotes on paper. You become a project management in paper. But you cannot still do the work. Because why? The remote worker skill that will help you how to work, not the work you want to do. And the experience to show your remote employer that at least I can entrust you with my data without you messing it up, because I have seen, even if it is internship that you have done in it, I have seen what you have done. See, I cannot lie to you. No matter how you cut it, remote jobs need a form of relevant experience. And when people tell me, but what if how do I not get the experience if everyone is? I say, that is why there is internships, there is volunteering, there is community service. In your estate, is your estate a huge estate that you people have one data and that data is not being analyzed? Carry their data, tell them you want to introduce. When you go for end of year community meeting, be the person that will say, let me boot what are they calling it? Screen share. Let me screen share. I have analyzed the data of this community. We have 4 men, 5 women, 10 ladies. Offer your service pro bono. One of the things I then teach people like that on YouTube, I say, take pictures of you doing that thing. Make noise about it. People need to know that you have done it. Yes, I say, is this a space in your organization where you can attach yourself to the data analysis system? So you don't even have to leave your organization. If there is none, look outside. Internships, volunteering, community service. And it must carry that title. It must carry the title. In fact, if you have to pay an organization to say, it's me that will do the work for you, but I will pay you for interning for you. Don't worry. Why? You get the letter that says you were employed as a data analyst. When you get that letter and you do that job in the real sense of it doesn't matter if it is for 2 months, 3 months, you have what you need to take to the next employer. See, I have overemphasized this today. I am not talking from book. I am not talking from theory. I keep repeating it. My 2 international roles, I have a PhD in chemistry. In the first international role, I was a design lead. What does design mean lead? I was using my design thinking experience. Where did I get design thinking experience from? From a 1-week innovation lab in Singapore in 2018. 1 week. Second role, I was a global program coordinator. Where did I get that experience from? From here and there, coordinating my business, facilitating courses, facilitating at the university. Like, because whenever you look at job roles on LinkedIn, it's amazing how, if you look at this job role, you'll be shocked that you could have gotten those requirements of experience from different places. From some, you could have gotten it from running your own business. Some, you could have gotten it from volunteering. So, like, what they require in all these roles on LinkedIn are a combination of your life experiences. If you read this thing, this research assistant thing that is currently on my screen, say 3 to 5 years of experience in small molecules in professional capacity. So that particular lady that said she has 5 years, she's perfect. Strong expertise in small molecules synthesis, entrepreneurial mindset. Are you seeing it? Experience in startup environment preferred is a plus. Deeply analytical system thinker. Are you seeing this thing? I want to go up. What you will do, what you will bring. Have you seen this entire job thing? They have not even asked for any degree. Read it again. They have not asked for any degree. Nothing. No certification. Even when they were saying what is, sometimes they will say, when you read an opportunity on LinkedIn, they will say, someone with master's in clinical preferred. See this particular job opportunity. They did not even say master's preferred. They said entrepreneurial mindset experience in a startup environment preferred is a plus. I can tell you for free, most job placements these days, you know why I'm using this job as an example for you? This is a job that is supposed to be highly academic. Highly academic. Research assistant is highly academic. But what are they asking? What is the preferred thing? They said experience in working in a startup environment. Why do you think that requirement was placed? They need someone who is a fast thinker, systems thinker. One of the lessons I taught in Module 7 of WFS is design thinking. The only other place I've ever taught design thinking is in my 500,000 naira program. Lesson 1, Module 7 of Workplace Foundational Skills is design thinking. Why do you think I put, and it was, life, where I was teaching life skills. Why do you think I put design thinking there? One of the most highly valued skill in the international space is what people interchange systems thinking and design thinking. Some people refer to it as systems thinking, some people refer to it as design thinking. You should go and Google it. You will understand what I'm saying. People require people that understand how to think analogically in an analytical manner in the global workspace. So in us, this job that we clear, I say 80K to 110K. Imagine someone that has gone to do masters at the end of the day, which is why I always encourage people, please, before you go and start any program, ask yourself, what is the goal I want to achieve? I want to get a high-paying remote job. You will now ask yourself, what do I bring to the table I bring my experience in research assistance, meaning that the kind of things I should be looking for is research assistance. You now ask you to go to LinkedIn and go and put that thing as a search word, then filter it to remote. Look at all the things your typical kind of job is requiring, which is what I call skills mapping. Skills mapping is what do I have at hand. Gap analysis is this thing I'm doing. Look at what is the gap. In this entire job requirements, look at 2, 3 of them. What don't I have that they are requiring? They say, I must be a system thinker, I must be a clinical clinician, but I can bet you, it does not matter the job this thing you see. By the time they ask you all the things that they are looking at, you're asking yourself, hey, where will I get all these things? Go and look at the curriculum of WFS. There is nothing like it out there. I have not seen it. I did 3 years of product development on that thing. Why? I looked at my experience working internationally, 14 years of being an employer of labor, what I want my staff to have, what they demanded of me in the international space, and what I know my students were lacking when I was in the academic space. And I designed it into a program. So you will be shocked that more than half of what they are requiring, they are asking, so which program will now teach me this thing? It's already on WFS. Which I said, my program is an unconventional program. It is not categorized as anything like data analysis, data entry. It's not categorized as all those names, because the truth of the matter is, I always say it is a program. The best way I could name it is that it is workplace foundational skills or remote workers program, because all the things you will need in those capacity is what is in it. And it is vast, is a combination of various things. Now, I hope that this person, you take my advice of going to do data analyst in a startup. Many people say, I don't want to work with a startup. I want to work with a multinational. Hello. The experience in a multinational and in a startup, there are two different things. A startup is very fast-paced. A multinational or a very structured place is slow-paced, highly structured. You have to pass paper from here, like you have to go through bureaucracy for something to be done. So it means that you may do 1 year of IT in a multinational and never see a project from start to finish. But you cannot do 3 months or 6 months in a startup and not see a project from start to finish. Why? The amount of time it takes to execute something in a startup is... Do you understand? So you can see process from start to finish because it is a startup. So that would be my advice to you. Someone said, I lost my job as a banker in 2018. I worked in different roles as a relationship manager, product manager, fantastic. Head of remittance and area manager in a bank. I also trained lots of staff. It's been hard finding another job. I want to be able to attract group and remote job. Please advise me on what to do. Presently in SW batch 5. This person, you need GOP. There is no other advice for you. With what you have, relationship management, product management, head of remittance, you need GOP. You have the experience. And you also need WFS. So it's you're already doing that one, because if you have to work remotely, you will need the remote worker skills. That one is certain. But when you say it has been hard finding another job, you have picked. It can't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. Because if I put product management, ordinary product management in financial sector, now you will see what will come up. Like, are you seeing it? Remote Canada, this, like, are you principal product? Now, if I now say experience level, let me even put mid to senior level. Let's see. You have 186 roles. I can decide to change it from Canada to US to Nigeria. Are you seeing it? 186 remote mid to senior level product manager roles. Finding it is not your problem. Is looking the parts. You don't look it. You need to look the part of your experience on LinkedIn. Simple. Then I said, see, my advice to you, please just go and register on GOP. GOP is calling your name. And I cannot even mince word with you. Because if it is finding it, you say finding, how many minutes did it take me to find 186 job in one location alone that is remote? It took me 30 seconds to do this search. 30 seconds. Finding it is not your problem. It's the least of your problem. Looking the part for it is your major problem. You need to build a profile that will allow you to be reached out to. And I know this for certain. I know this, you know why? There is a Dr. Charles that I worked with last year. Dr. Charles had 32 years of experience in oil and gas as a drilling engineer. He has a PhD. And he said, I don't even know, maybe his company that I used to work, I don't know what happened to that company. I can't remember the story that he brought to us. But when he came to me, I said, hey, someone has 32 years of experience in oil and gas. That means he has worked in the best industry, oil and gas. Yeah, he has the highest level of education, PhD. He has 32 years experience. I was in primary school when this dog started working. Do you understand? And I said to myself, I said, that means what this man is looking for is not entry level. It's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why did I have to narrate his experience to you? And I told myself, I said, Jerry, PPP framework have helped people at the AGM level. 20-something years of experience, whatever. His own is not different. So stop thinking about it that maybe what you teach him will not help him. I told the man, I said, enroll for GOP. September, when we decided to create an alumni group for all, because we, how many batches have we had? I think we are enrolling the 8th batch of GOP right now. When we now decided to create an alumni group for previous system, because some things came up, we created that thing. And Doc sent me a message and said, Doc will bless you for this new initiative of putting us in an alumni group so we can network and, help ourselves be better, blah, 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 blah. I want to let you know that I got a job as the head of an oil and gas in Lagos thing. I said, hey, why did I say a? Not because, of course, things like that come to me, but Ease was the first that has that high level of experience and was able to get something at that high level. Like, 32 years work experience. Why am I emphasizing it? The higher you go, the slimmer the funnel becomes, which is an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is the higher you go. This search right now that I did, there are 186 opportunities opened in product management for mid to senior level. Whereas when I typed for all levels, it was 239. That means only about 50 is for entry level. There are 186, who is drawing on my screen, for mid to senior level. What do you think that means? People are finding it hard to find skilled people at that level. So your problem is not finding. You can find, but they can't see you. Your LinkedIn doesn't look the parts. So the skill you need right now is the skill that is being taught on GOP, on how you look at the parts, that it is not them, it is not you that is finding, it is them that is now doing the reach out. Part of what we incorporate on GOP is your profile is going to have certain keywords that it is the recruiter of that organization that will be reaching out to you. If you doubt me, ask Israel Ola. Israel asked me for a discount to join GOP last 3-4 months. I said the program was 500,000, so it's currently at 50% after price. I said, no, don't worry, you can join future batches. It just depends on when you are trying to attract it. When you are ready to attract the opportunities, you come and learn how you do it. He said, I should not worry, that let him pay half so I can get access to the first part of the course of the program, which is how to build a profile. Israel paid half. We did not chase him to pay the other half. He came to say, Doc, I need to get access to the other parts. Give me, because even this one part, I can't believe it. Like, it is happening. He had not finished the program. I said, Doc, people are reaching out to me, like, 2 people in 1 week are reaching out to me on LinkedIn. Is this magic? Is this witch? I said, no, it's not like what you don't know, it's senior you. But please take note. It does not matter what you pay for the PPP framework. And why am I saying that? People have paid me over $1 million for that framework to work with me one-on-one. It does not take away the work. What I give you is knowledge that makes it easy. I will not lie to anybody. I've seen people that took GOP, PPP framework, as in not took it, they paid for it. They now thought because they paid for the program, it gives them, it would work like magic. It's not magic. You don't do the work I ask you to do on GOP, you get no results. As you are seeing me like this, I am still implementing my own framework. I have a new set of targets of opportunities that I'm looking to get in 2025. From this November, I am already starting to do the work on my LinkedIn. But the only difference between me and you is the fact that I know the work I am doing will yield results because I've used it over and over. It is rinse and repeat. I know it works. Do you understand? But it does not take away the work. Please take note of that. So if I always tell anybody that is listening to me, it doesn't matter the program I recommended to you, whether it is in my academy or not. It does not remove the work. You need to do the work. Because you need to learn and you need to implement, which is the work. So the next hand that is raised. So Edith, I'm going to, I don't know. Okay, let me read from someone else before we then go to Anne. So we'll take 2 hands. Once I answer this next question, we'll take 2 hands or something. I have over 15 years of experience covering accounting, audit, tax practice, okay? Presently, I'm an ICANN licensed auditor and corporate affairs commission accredited agent. I do audit, accounting, house. What do I need to do to get a global remote job with my skill and competence? Please, you need to enroll on GOP. If you have not, that will be my advice to you. The same advice I gave to the person before this is my advice to you. You have the experience. You just don't look the part on LinkedIn. So you need to look the parts. That would be my advice to you. So Aisha, can you unmute Cynthia in chat? Cynthia Okafo. After Cynthia is Christina Ako. I will need to round off this. So let me see how many hands are raised. There are 5 hands that are currently raised. That will be the last 5 hands we work with. Cynthia, after Cynthia, Christina, after Christina, Dayton, after Chris, Dayton, Mr. Dave, and after Dave, we have, I think that's all.
Okay,
After Dave,
good evening, ma.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
So, please, I want to ask, even though I don't have any degree, I just learned a virtual assistant, and I'm currently volunteering as a virtual assistant, and it is for 2 months now, but I'm here to get a job. I have also done some projects on it to gain more experience, and I also love researching and finding information. And I have also managed a business for like 4 years, but in a physical setting. So this is my first time going to the remote workspace. So my goal on LinkedIn is to attract employers as a virtual assistant. And maybe later
I don't have
on,
experience in it. You don't have experience in it.
Yes, I don't have. The experience I have
You need
is
to apply.
the
There is a difference between
volunteer
application
work.
and attraction.
Okay.
Whenever you hear me say the word attract, I am referring to experienced professionals.
Okay.
For beginners, I say you need to apply. Like click, find the job and apply for it.
Okay.
Because at that level, you people are plenty. So you need to chase the employer.
Okay.
So you need to apply. Which I say, you remember what I said? I said at the beginner level, the employers don't really care about what your LinkedIn profile looks like. At the beginner level, they don't really care about what you like. You must have a LinkedIn presence because the moment to find you. And how to open LinkedIn, how to do the basics on LinkedIn is covered on WFS. That one is covered on WFS. The basics of LinkedIn is covered on WFS. So it is the advanced people with experience that need to now have a LinkedIn profile that was carefully curated and designed. But for the basics of it, which is why on WFS, why did I teach it as a bonus? I taught 2 lessons as a bonus on that program, which is the LinkedIn and the CV. Why did I teach it as a bonus? Because I know that even if at the beginner level, people don't really care about your LinkedIn, they will still want to know that at least you have brain and sense and whatever presence enough to be there and do the barest minimum of this and at least be decent on that space. Do you understand? So they want to know that. But aside that, at the beginner level, have just a decent LinkedIn profile, then apply. Whenever you hear me say attraction, I'm referring to the GOP program. I'm referring to professionals that have experience, not beginners in anything. Okay. So you said you did something around virtual assistants. I don't know the quality of the program you took. Are you still unmuted, Cynthia? Where is she? Is she still here? I would have asked you to speak. I don't know. Because why am I saying this? In the academy, in the previous batches and this current batch, I have nothing less than 10 people who have taken a virtual assistant course and they are currently on WFS. And what happened is the virtual assistance course curriculum they took isn't enough to do remote work. Some of them said the course did not teach them the basics of LinkedIn, on how to search for the job on LinkedIn, on how to have a CV for it. Just yesterday, somebody in our WFS batch 5, like the batch that is currently in this, like they've not finished. They are in week 4 or week 5. I can't even remember. Week 4. They are finishing week 4. This current batch, someone dropped in the community yesterday, said they found a job. A remote job. They are in week 4. So what it means is, and I think is it week 4 or week 5 that we gave them access to the Canva template for CV. We gave them CV. I can't even remember which you understand. But I'm just saying, she said she used the Canva template for the LinkedIn, for the whatever she did, and she got the job. She did it for the job. Why am I saying this? I can only speak to the quality of the programs we have created. There was someone that wanted to enroll for the BFS's batch when she first came on our IG. She said, "Ma, I have taken it." She said, "I have taken a course on virtual assistant." That was the exact thing she said. "Ma, the only thing I need is how do I find job on virtual assistant?" I said, that one is easy now. Go and take our free program. There's a free version. I don't know. Let me probably find that free version so you know what I'm talking about. Muina or Aisha, can you drop me the link to the free version in the comment section so I click it? The free version of our program. I don't know where it is. Seller. The free version. I said, just go and take module 1. That's our free version of this thing, and you'll find how to search for the job. And she said, she didn't even teach them about CV, about LinkedIn. I said, how will she even start with LinkedIn? And I said, then your virtual assistant program is lacking because it means that they taught you some skills for the job, but you don't know the skill on how to search for the job. You don't have the knowledge on your assets to submit for the job. That is, when I say assets, CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, you don't have assets, you don't know how to do all that. So is it not somebody that has gotten the job that will now use the skill on the job? Do you understand? So that I say, I don't know what you took, but if you know, go and find the curriculum of WFS. If you know that your destiny is lacking, Moina, did you drop that link for me? Okay, thank you. If you know that it is lacking, my advice would be check the curriculum. You may not register for WFS if the program you took covered all the things. Why do I want to open it? You can go and view the curriculum in the free one. Start with the free one. So you need to know whether what you took is sufficient enough for you to do that role. If it is not, you may need to get on WFS. So how do you know whether what you took is it's sufficient? Look through this curriculum. Go to the free one. Moina dropped the link in the comment section. In this free one, you can watch the first module, like this module. You can watch it for free. Do you understand? It is the subsequent modules that you don't have access to. So for all the modules, you can click on this and start asking yourself if you are able to do all these things. If you are not, it means you are not even ready for your virtual assistant role. You are still lacking in some skills to do it. Do you understand? I have not seen a person that has taken WFS that is not able to do the work of a virtual assistant, because it has more than that. Program for all forms of profession that wants to work remotely. So that would be my advice to you. So the next person, Christiana, can you unmute the next person? I need to go by 9:30, please. Christiana, can you unmute yourself, please? After Christiana is Dayton, after Dayton is Mr. Dave, and Onyegecha is the last person for tonight. Christiana, if you're not going to unmute yourself, please Dayton, unmute yourself. Dayton, unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I have a croaky voice. I have a bit of cold.
Oh.
I'd like to ask this. In the agribusiness space, natural farming, value addition, food processing, market access, and food export. And I'm interested in global opportunities in the advancement of women and youth economic development. I'm also interested in being visible globally in my sector. I have a degree in business administration and have professional experience of almost 27 years in the financial services sector and entrepreneurship. I would also be interested in teaching entrepreneurship in agribusiness and value addition remotely, because I'm a subject matter expert. I already applied, or I've already been taken in for the GOP program, but I'd like to know I just wanted to share this and see what your thoughts are on this. Thank you.
I'm smiling because if you were here earlier, that was referring to someone that is a professional that she came last year, but she's in the agri sector, actually. And I was just kind of like, okay, like this, like the only difference is she has about 15 years of experience. Your experience is more. So I will even like, welcome to the GOP. That is all I'm going to say to you. In the first week of GOP, which is going to be on November 8th, Friday, is the week we use for clarity. That 3 hours for clarity for GOP people. If you say you've already enrolled, what it means is they should have given you access. My people should have given you access to the courses. Let me put it that way. Please, 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 please do the course before you come on November 8th. It is key. Listen to the course, do the activity. There is an activity I gave you on clarity 3 different activities. One of them was a personality, one of them was the stakeholder activity, then the third one was the journaling activity. I need you to do it. Because even if your experience is very impressive, it's diverse. The goal you want to achieve, like you are gunning for the agri sector visibility kind of stuff, like the image you want to project in the agri space, but you also want to be able to teach it, which is let me explain this. There are different categories of global opportunities. One leads to the other. Let me put it that way. So in the case of this person that I was referring to, the first one that came as a result of our positioning on LinkedIn was the consulting, like, let me consult for this stuff. Of course, she did that remotely. The second one that came, which I didn't even imagine my PPP framework would work for, was influencing. And I learn every day, because when I work with professionals, and they get some unconventional things that I didn't even imagine, I'm like, okay, it's a new learning for me. Now, recently, this person was invited to speak. She's a core professional, no history of any online personal brand, proud to her coming on PPP. And this person was invited alongside governors, professors, to come and speak at an agric, a very big state agric program. The event was so big that this person came to me and was saying, I'm afraid I may decline. I said, I'm the only ordinary person on that thing. I said, but your expertise is so unique, and you have positioned it in the last 1 year on LinkedIn enough for them to deem you worthy. The organizer of the event found her on LinkedIn and reached out to her on LinkedIn to say, I want you to be in this panel. And trust me, the entire process, lodging, the hotel, and the money that came with that speaking engagement, let's just say it was a good one. But it was sequential. So one of the things we are going to have to clarify on Friday, November 8th for you, please remind me at that meeting, would be, but I cannot clarify it until you have done those activities. If you come and you've not done those activities, I will ask you certain questions and you can't answer me because you've not done those activities.
I will do them.
Yeah, so please do it. So when you come, what we now need to clarify is, after doing the activities, now me knowing the experience you bring on board, we then need to, I always say, I'm a multi-potentialite. Over 60% of people that come on my GOP program are multi-potentialite. We are not, I can't say we are a jack of all trades, because we are actually specialized in all those things. Like, we are different things, but we know a lot around those different things. So I always say, the first question I always ask to someone like you in that kind of program is, what is the focus now? What is the focus in 6 months? What is the focus in 2 years? It enables us to then say, if this is the focus now, then we need to, like, the profile you will then build on LinkedIn will be towards this now. While we start to stagger the remaining 2. When I say stagger, we will not eliminate them. We only put them at the back burner. And I do it a lot because I'm a multi-potentialite. 4 years ago, I was focused on my academics. So all my global opportunities tend towards the academic space. As I started to say, oh no, I wanted to do something for myself, then I did things that helped me to get those things at UN Live. Then I said, okay, I think I have enough stability and rest of mind. I can decide to go and do impact work small. Do you understand? Then I started to reposition as this founder for impact and everything. Why? Because I was then looking to attract partnerships for my organization, the SFW Academy. Next year, I'll probably change my positioning for the theme I want to then focus on next. So that is how I teach people like you on GOP. to build LinkedIn profiles. And I'm not the only one I have several people that I've worked with in the last couple of years that have done the same thing. They've done the similar things. But the good part about GOP is because you already know how to build that profile, you just do rinse and repeat. When I say rinse and repeat, like in 6 months, rinse and repeat the process. You are not relearning it. Do you understand? You're just rinsing and repeating the process and you get better in it. So welcome. I can't wait to actually meet you in next week, Friday. That's November 8th. Yeah. I'll
Thank
see
you
you in
very
class.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You're
ma'am.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Dave, please unmute yourself. Mr. Dave, I can't
Hello.
hear you. Okay, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Evening. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm fine. This Zoom meet is very, very impactful. I quite joined very late because I was in transit when the meeting started. But I wanted to be reassured if GOP will be perfect match for me. I have my experience. I have quite like 5 years experience in academics, research experience, and I have teaching experience as well. I have industrial practicum experience I interned at the Federal Airport Authority for 6 months, and I interned with Nigerian Bureau for 6 months at their HR department. And I'm very vast when it comes to research experience, but I've been finding it difficult to have a global. I could actually remember when I applied for Bank of America at some point.
I can't
I
hear
think I
you.
got. Oh,
What?
okay. Oh,
You've been finding it
hello.
difficult to. That's the last thing I heard.
Yes, I've been finding it difficult to have a place in the global setting, a global space to have a job
Most of
as a
your
remote job.
experiences around research, right?
Yes.
Did you join me when I was talking about that research person? Were you already here when I was using
No,
that research person as a
not at all. Not at all. I joined
oh,
not quite late, maybe about 20 minutes ago.
where is that LinkedIn thing that was
Yeah.
showing that person for research?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't want to over-explain, but you can catch the replay of this thing. But a summary of the advice I gave to that person was just her coming here. She had the same thing. She had research 5 years. She has done teaching in the STEM courses for 2 years prior to that, then research 5 years. Then she said the same thing, that she was finding it difficult. And I said, you are not finding it difficult. It is your LinkedIn does not look like what you are this thing. So what I did was I put research. This was what I did. And we had this particular for the remote this thing. And we used one of these experiences, the research associate for Muleko, as a case study for her. And in us going through that thing, we realized that all these things was not even requiring a degree in a specific thing. So this was, if you look through this particular opportunity right now, this is what they were like requiring for that person. So your research experience is relevant enough to now say you have internship in Nigerian bureaus and which other one, that multinational. It's an added advantage for you because it gives you experience in the multinational space. Places like Nigerian bureaus and all those multinationals, when they are on your CV, it says that you know how to work in a structured place. So finding it is basic knowledge. Finding like, but what is not really basic about it is what I think one of the first thing we may need to do for you. I don't know if you've enrolled for GOP or not, but if you are probably on GOP, one of the first things we need to do in the first week is to analyze like which is the most deficient. Let me put it that way. Which is the most deficient in the market space of your opportunity? The most deficient in the market space of like of your experience. Because if you have internship, different this thing. So I want to look at the one that is most relevant for the goal you're as in your research experience is the most constant one. So those other internship, we need to look for the one that is closely related to the most basic one. Pack them together, use it to build a LinkedIn profile that says you're an experienced person in that specific space, and look for the combination of the right combination that we then put out. Because when we look at that combination, it will determine the kind of keywords you're going to do in your LinkedIn profile. And when it determines that, it means that that is the kind of thing they will seek you out for. But the fact that you have nothing less than 5 years experience that is cognitive, as how do I explain, that is sequential. If you had come to me and say you just have 6 months here, 6 months there, 6 months, I would say no, I don't come on GOP. But you have research that is constant. So it's a plus. So that research is now what we now need to build a profile for. So GOP will still be my recommendation to you. As an addition, if you start to take GOP and I realize that I don't have to realize, if you do not have, if you've never worked remotely, you will still need, give me 1 minute. So, as I was saying, if we now realize that one of those like in you trying to work remotely in whatever it is we build your profile for, you would still need the remote worker skills, please. Because it is one thing for GOP to help you attract what you need. When you do attract it, you need to have the remote worker skills to deliver on the remote work, irrespective of what it is. So if you've never worked remotely, you will still need that. I always tell professionals that because you can do the job of the research assistant, but you may not know how to work remotely in such a space. So that is what but at least GOP can at least get you those opportunities first. That is what that one can do for you. Ordinarily, the moment people start attracting opportunities using GOP, I always say, please jump on WFS. Because if someone is already asking to interview you, you will need the remote worker skills to GOP covers CV in detail for your level of experience. It covers cover letter in detail. You are going to get a job. But when they now say, okay, well, yeah, let's proceed, you have to do the job. So you need the remote worker skills to learn how to do the job. Not the job you want to do. You know the job you want to do, the research and all the whatever it is you want to do. But how to then deliver on that job, you will need the WFS at some point if you have never worked remotely. That would be my, so on the immediate is GOP. In the next 1-2 months, you will need WFS. That would be my last thing. So now, Onye, this thing is the last person. Vera and Free Noella, this thing. So what's going to happen, because I really need to go, is Muina, all the questions I've not answered in this thing, can you copy them onto a Google document for me? I could do tomorrow, same time, 7 to 9. But that one, I cannot even exceed 9 tomorrow night because it's a Monday. Because I can see more people are raising their hands right now, and I really need to go. So I could come here 7 to 9 tomorrow. If you have questions, you still need answers to, and all. So I could come here tomorrow 7 to 9. So, Moina, all the questions in the comment section, copy it on a Google document for me. So that is where I will start from when I come here tomorrow, by God's grace. Perchance I am unable to show up, I will still answer it as videos and drop it in the GET community. The GET community is our free WhatsApp community for people looking to begin, or things like that. I will drop the question in both in the GET community for answers. So even if I didn't answer you today, don't say, oh, like, do you understand? I don't want to keep us waiting forever. So please, let's do 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And I'll take those questions. I'm not saying even if I cannot take those questions tomorrow night, I would record the video and put it in the Get community for you to watch in that Get community. Moina, put the link to the WhatsApp Get community in the Zoom session. If you are watching on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you can send us a WhatsApp chat +234 805 345 3099 +234 805 345 3099. That's 0805 345 3099. Just send a WhatsApp message and say, give me the link to join the free Get community. Join the Get community. So the worst that can happen is I will record a video and put it in the Get community. So Onye Gacha, can you please go on? Onye Gacha, you're not speaking. You are not speaking. So I'm going to take this person's question. I worked in the bank for 14 years and left a customer service manager. I have been out of a regular job for 3 years plus. From then till now, I have obtained MSc in economics, certification in this, and I just completed an internship with a Nigerian UK-based company on project management and business analysis. I took a hybrid role, project manager and business analysis. I decided to work remotely with the aim of getting a well-paying job. How do I enter project management and business analysis and get a well-paying remote job? My LinkedIn profile is not optimized. I get quite complained about how to synchronize everything and position myself. Synchronizing everything and positioning yourself is what we cover on the GOP. That's just the truth. The entire PPP framework, what do we do on GOP? The first part of GOP is gaining clarity. The second part, and why is gaining clarity on what you need to be seen as? You see that your confusion about how to synchronize everything and position yourself is the first thing GOP addresses. You cannot optimize your LinkedIn profile if you are confused about how you should look on it. If I come across your LinkedIn profile, and in 10 seconds, I'm not saying I want to hire you for a specific thing, then your LinkedIn profile is not doing the job. It means that people come there and they are confused about what exactly you need. Do you understand me? That is what is going to happen. So people can't be confused about what they want to offer you. People that are reaching out to Israel are reaching out to him with project management opportunities. Why? The profile wasn't confused. So initially, when I designed PPP framework for GOP, it was just PPP. This is what I still call it PPP. That's profile building, platform optimization, positioning. Then I realized that half of the people coming on the program were confused about what they want to look like outside. So the first part of the program right now, the first course we give you access to is for brand clarity and profile building. The second course covers LinkedIn optimization and positioning. So the first two things needs to be done. You need to be clear about the message, your brand message on LinkedIn. When you are clear, then we teach you my 7-step framework on how to then build a 7-step paragraph that showcases that person. When you have now done that, now take that content to LinkedIn and go and optimize it. LinkedIn optimization is the 3rd step in a 5-step process to looking the parts. So if you jump the first two and you give someone and say they optimize LinkedIn profile for you, they joke. You are joking. I always tell people LinkedIn profile cannot be optimized in absentia. You are joking. It's a gimmick. When someone say, look, I've worked with professionals that paid me upwards of 1.5 million to work with them. I don't do it for them. I do it with them. You cannot optimize someone's brand in their absentia. Because Your personality, your uniqueness needs to reflect enough for them to reach out to you. I can have the same degree. Me and you can have the same degree and they will pick me over you. You know why? I have mastered the art of communicating why it should be me through my profile. And it is not about putting, I'm an excellent intercommunicationer, all those adjective and nonsense people put together. English is nonsense when it comes to positioning, all those excellent interpersonal, advocates, all those buzzwords. It doesn't mean anything. They can see through that fluff. So if your challenge is the fact that look, GOP is my only recommendation to you because it is a skill acquisition program on how you build your brand, your personal brand, which is you, for people to want you on their team, even when they don't need you. I have people that have gone through my GOP program. People will be reaching out on LinkedIn and say, oh, wow, your profile is so impressive. Even if you don't have an opening for you, I just wanted to say so that when we have an opening, you'll be the first person I'm reaching out to. You can imagine someone reaching out to somebody and say, I don't have an opening. So that when I have an opening, I'm reaching out to you. Like that is the kind of impression people have of that person. So that would be why I say you should, take GOP. You need to learn the skill of it. And it is not a 1 hour thing. It is like the program, the length of the course in total is about 12 hours, the course. But the program is not just about the course. So the program is the course, 2 courses, not even 1 course, 2 courses, which are 5.5 hours each. Then we have workshops for 6 weeks. We have workshops every Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. every Friday for 6 weeks. You heard me when I was talking to, I've forgotten her name. I think Dayton, where I told her that in the first workshop, when she has listened to the course, in the first workshop, we are going to then do the clarity part. In the second workshop, we tackles things around, we make everybody come to that workshop with their laptop and they are building their profile. It's a workshop. Like we are doing it together. Third one is about LinkedIn optimization. Fourth one is about how to write articles to position. Fifth one is about your work assets, cover letters and things like that. Then the sixth one is where we then do, I've forgotten. You understand? But that is how it is. So that there's workshops for 6 weeks every week. Then we then put them in a support WhatsApp group, like from November 8th till next year, February. That's 3 months. Because what happens is professionals or academics, whatever, they start getting opportunities and they mess it up sometimes because they don't know the exact way to respond. So some of them bring those issues to the WhatsApp group and say, how do I answer this? How do I respond to this? And say, this is what you should say and things like that. So Doc, would you mind reading from the direct inbox? So I've read it. So because it's 9:38, I'm reading my direct inbox actually. It's just that I have about 20 something plus direct inbox right now, which is why I said that let's Moina copy 20 something plus direct inbox out for me. And the best I can do is come back here tomorrow to continue so that we can take a break and come back here tomorrow. So I really wish we could continue tonight, but we can't. Yeah, we can't. So Shakirat, I see you. I'm struggling to pronounce your name. Ridley, I see you. Frinola, I see you. Onyegachi. So those 4, please, if you can make it here 7 p.m. tomorrow, I'm going to ask 4 of you to unmute first. Then I read all the ones that are in the chat. And Vera, So 5 of you, I'm going to take 5 of you first. Please just make it a date with me tomorrow. I'm going to continue these issues. I didn't realize that we're going to have over 100 people needing clarity. Yeah. So just make it a day with me tomorrow. I'll come back here to this thing. I hate to say I promise, but I will try my possible best to be back here at 7 p.m. tomorrow. If you need information about how to enroll for any of the programs, please check the comment section or just go to itrainafrica.com. If you are looking to learn about GOP, that's for the professionals, is itrainafrica.com/LinkedIn offer, or check the comment section /LinkedIn offer. If you are looking to, Muina, please just drop those links to SFW and GOP in the comment section. But for the purpose of those who are listening on YouTube or Instagram, itrainafrica.com/our products. Our products. That's OURPRODUCTS, our products. itrainafrica.com, our products. All the products we offer are on that particular page, from technical skills program to GOP to anything, WFS, itrainafrica.com, our products. If you are looking specifically for information around SFW program, that is Skill for Work Academy programs, it is itrainafrica.com skilled for work /skill for itrainafrica.com /skill for work informational, something like that. Skill for work, yeah. For GOP, itrainafrica.com /LinkedIn offer. That's a / together as a word. So thank you very much. Everybody can unmute themselves right now to say good night. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can unmute yourself if you want to. Have a good night rest. For everybody that's joining on
Thank you very
Instagram,
much. Thank you, ma'am. Good night, Dr.
Good
Bam.
night.
thank you. It
Thank you
was
so much.
amazing, doing this tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Good night. Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.